Hello, hello everyone. Just getting everything set up here. All right. Thank you for being here for this meditation. Um, Always lovely to do these live meditations, and they're it's always good for me to kind of check in and share whatever, feels like it's in the energy field. And um it's September 11th, and that just saying that date, there's associations with that date. It's late summer, the fall equinox is coming up in around September 22nd. But the date today, September 11th, dates can actually carry energy. And um, one thing I've learned about, going in the Akashic Records is that we can actually transform the energy of dates. We can change the energy that we associate with the date. This can happen with, the date of somebody's who's passed, or even a positive thing like a wedding date. But dates, some people have their sober date, right? Like that can be a really important date. Um, so so much of what we bring to the date is what it becomes for us. So if we believe it's a bad thing, then it could become a bad thing. If we believe that it's a good thing, then it can become a good thing. Um, so, I've been wanting to talk about the Christed energy for a while anyway. And as some of you may know, Jesus is a huge guide for me, and for many of us, I think, as well. And it's tricky to talk about Jesus because that can be triggering for some people with all the religious programming. There's religious trauma. Um, and yet over and over, Jesus comes in as a guide for so many people. I was actually just listening to this or watching this video of a man who had a near-death experience. And in his near-death experience, he felt this beautiful, loving being coming to him, and he identified that being immediately as Jesus, who was comforting him. And I think sometimes people get confused about that, and because traditional religion, or those who have created traditional religion, have created so much fear and indoctrination and judgment. If you don't believe in Jesus, then you're going to hell, and that sort of fear-based programming. What can happen is that we miss out on connecting with that energy that is there for us. And there's a great book that I highly recommend anybody read, which is called Anna, Grandmother of Jesus, which is a channeled book by, I think it's Claire Hartsong. And I've been reading it, and as I've been reading it, there's been these sort of activations coming in about the truth about the life of Jesus, and his mother Mary, and then his grandmother Anna, and how they were Essenes, and they would go for years to in temples and in caves underground to meditate, to regenerate the cells of their body so they could live for hundreds of years. At least in the case of Anna, she did. And there's, and Jesus studied in India with these wise ancient masters like Babaji, and studied in Egypt, learning from Isis and Hathor and these different, and Ra. And, wow, they don't talk about that in the Bible, right? So it's fascinating what I think is really the truth about the one they call Jesus. And when I was in the Akashic Records, I was like, well, why was it a man? Like, why was this one who, one of many, right? Who, like these wide, like Buddha, like Isis, like Hathor, like Ra, like Mary. Why is Jesus so often the one that comes to many of us, or what kind, the one that embodied that energy at the time? And what came to me in the records was because at the time it was a very male dominated society in the Middle East, and they wouldn't listen to a woman. And so it had to be through a man, because that's where people would, would be more likely to pay attention to a man speaking. And that, that was, I guess, was just a fact of life at the time. So nowadays, and in this book, the Anagram of Other Jesus book, it talks about just, that people would be awakening, and it would take thousands of years for people to go through this period of awakening and embodying light and learning to embody light the way that the Essenes did, the way that Jesus and his mother who trained him, and the different Essenes and the different masters in Egypt. And also they mentioned Britain, the druids, the Celtic druids who also trained him in all these ancient mystical practices of not only meditation, but astral projection, teleportation, things that we could do, that healing, like healing the body spontaneously, things that we could do if we learned. So anyway, that Jesus is one of many, and for whatever reason, Jesus is the guy that comes to me a lot and comes to many of us. In fact, just the other day, and we had the first hypnotherapy certification program class where I'm teaching this group of wonderful, happens to be all women, how to be hypnotherapists. So we were talking about, you know, that the Essenes, like Jesus, were basically putting themselves through self-hypnosis and believing, and through their belief and through this training, they were rising above the physical limitations of the body. And doing these amazing things like, teleportation, astral travel, stuff like that, body regeneration, cellular healing, things that, we eventually, I think, will all be able to do, maybe not all, but some of us, some of our descendants. So, with it's all energy, right? Everything's energy. When we learn that when we move beyond the belief that we have a certain number of years to live, that's what all we've been taught. Oh, you're going to live to be maybe 80, maybe 90, maybe 100, and then that's it. You probably won't live past 100. Like, that's what we've been taught. What if we were taught that the average life expectancy is 150 years? Maybe we would all live to be 150 years old, right? So it's all about the belief and the programming that we've been taught. And so the same thing goes for, I mentioned today, September 11th, for energy that, that has been with us, that is with us. It's heavy energy that is with us, but then we don't have to succumb to, that we can rise above, that we can alchemize. And that's really coming up a lot in readings I'm doing for people, and sessions, is transmuting energy and learning how to do that, and practicing doing that. Of course, the things I talk about are nothing new. It's stuff that is lots of people talk about, has been around for thousands of years, millennia actually, and we it's just different language that we use. So it's all about light, really. It's working with light, working with the mind, connecting with higher powers. So let's do that this evening. Let's bring in the Christed light, which is really, it's, they say Christ consciousness. It's a light that the one they call Christ embodied along with many others. Now, for whatever reason, for me personally, Jesus is the one that kind of brings that to me and helps me even access the Akashic Records. And that maybe that's just his role, maybe because I was raised in a Christian church and that's what I'm used to. But certainly he's not the only one. But that light is so powerful and so strong. So we're going to work with that light right now. Okay, so let's take a moment and just close your eyes. And just begin to connect in with your breath. The breath has such power. The breath has such strength to it, and energy and activation. So when we intentionally connect with the breath, we're connecting with our life force. Taking 3 deep breaths in and holding, 3-part breath is a wonderful way to really activate that life force from the beginning. So you can do that if you like, holding at the top of each inhale. And slowly exhaling. And the key here is to breathe into the belly first and allow lots of air to go up into the heart and lungs. This is so we can get more breath in the body. And that breath can begin to fill us up. The oxygen can flow to our cells and activate our cells. And so as you begin to settle into a natural flow of breath, just begin to breathe in light. So we're really just, we do need to use our free will to open the door to connect with higher powers, and just visualizing that image of what would it feel like to breathe in light? What would it feel like to invite in light in the top of your head and into your heart, to just embody light, to swim in light? Just allow that to flow through your body, that light, sweeping up and down, cleansing anything heavy or stuck, like a river, like a wind flowing through your body. It just blows away the debris that doesn't belong. Or maybe it flows more gently in some areas. And so as we are here in this space, you may become aware of many beings of light, divine beings, masters, ancient ones who once walked the earth, who are stepping in, who are coming in to join us from all sides. And as these beings do not want to be identified with ego, they may not identify themselves by name, but maybe you can pick up on their energies. Imagining your light is flooding out of your body, connecting with the light of these wonderful beings, whether you see them or not, just know that they're there, feeling this, their light connecting with yours, sort of this pulsating energy flowing in and out through your etheric body, the layers of light around your body. You may feel a connection with Source, with God. And all these beings surrounding you are helping to amplify. And as there's a group of us here, we are also amplifying this. And so all you're doing is breathing this light in, allowing it through your body. It's very simple. But with the human mind, the mind likes to create stories and attach to thoughts. And so your task in this moment, as you alchemize, as you transmute, is become a master of your own divinity. Can you clear the mind? Can you allow the mind to be cleared? Can you allow the light to flow through your mind and purify the thoughts, as if it just dissolves, that light just dissolves all the thoughts. You may find it helpful to imagine you're sitting under a great oak tree, an ancient oak tree, or maybe another kind of tree, but in lotus position, just like the druids would connect with the great oak. And like a tree, you're channeling the sun from above through your body, and it moves into the earth, just like the tree connects with the earth through its roots, and then the light. And through that energy, the light becomes one with the soil. Your light becomes one with the soil, and it evaporates up into the ether and then becomes one with the sun again and flows down in your body again, this beautiful circular flow. Working, allowing the energies of the natural world, the trees and the earth and the evaporation of water that is how that light and that energy returns to the atmosphere, imagining your own energy circulating like the natural water cycle does in nature. Just feel that flow for a few moments. And this sort of training is what the ancient ones would do. Becoming one with all that is, allowing the small mind to dissolve and the universal mind of the collective unconscious to expand, allowing your soul, that particle of light within human form, to become one with the light of all that is. The drop of water in the ocean, knowing itself through being part of that ocean and being aware of that ocean. And so these words are that I'm speaking, I'm aware, partly coming through the one that is known as Jesus, the Christed one, who would like us to know that this is how we do it. This is a sampling. Of just rising above. And it may not seem like there's a lot happening, but it's a training to evolve into a new way of being, into a way of feeling a sense of oneness. And being in that oneness helps us rise above the petty daily worries and concerns that are illusions and projections of the 3D world that are real but also not real. Moving into fifth dimensional consciousness in this way. And through this light and through this sense of oneness, we develop universal love for all that is. Because we know that we are one with all that is, with each human in particular. So take a deep breath now and begin to come back into your body as you integrate this energy. As you feel this energy being sealed in, you can begin to touch your body, touch either arm, just stretching out, even touching the top of your head, anchoring yourself back into your body, anchoring back into the flesh. human form, the human vehicle you've chosen for this incarnation, which is such a gift. The flesh and bone and the tissue and the muscles that do so much for you, that allow you to be here, to be present, to be of service. Feeling this energy and feeling yourself with each time you do this, becoming more and more aligned with your highest self. And really taking a moment to just feel how good it feels to be in this state, and how maybe you want to do this again tomorrow, maybe again the next day, and the next after that, and so on, as you begin to shift and evolve day by day. So you can take a deep breath and begin to come back into your body. If you want to bring your hands in prayer position in gratitude, fold them over your heart, you're welcome to do that. Just giving thanks, honoring this energy, honoring this space. Let's honor these beautiful, loving beings who've been here with us. Especially the one known as the Christed One, as Jesus or Yeshua. We give thanks to all the masters who have come before us, to the gods, to the goddesses, to the beings of pure light from this dimension, all other dimensions, all connected to the source of all that is. We give thanks. We bow to you for your wisdom, and we ask for courage to continue stepping into our own light, embodying our own light for the highest good of all. May it be so. So it is. We can stretch out, come back into your body. It's nice to move your neck from side to side, and whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So, I'm always curious how that went for you. If you want to share anything in the chat here on Zoom or on Facebook, I'd love to hear. I can't always see what's on Facebook for some reason when I do this, but I can read it later. Yeah, there's, I don't even know what to say, right? It's already, there's no words sometimes, but it's such a gift to be here with you and to connecting with this light with you, and to really feel the energy. Well, thank you, Katie. So, one thing that I always suggest to people is, when we bring in this light and we bring in this energy, sometimes it can feel like, well, how do I carry this back into my daily life? How do I, not just do a meditation and then go back to some craziness? And this is when, it's helpful to visualize ourselves, in our daily lives, taking time to be the way we want to be present and mindful, and even in varying moments, everyday sort of moments. And then to even do that, to take time, when I'm in between clients, like just today, I go outside and I just look up to the sun, maybe lie on the grass, connect, ground in, go for a walk, do some stretching. And even if you're, wherever you are, I mean, it's nice to be outside in nature. And even when it gets to be cold and snowy, we can always go hug a tree. Hopefully you live near trees, or just touch the earth somehow. And that can really, nature can help us. It comes up a lot in readings for people in the Akashic Records, that we just, work with nature, that we allow the elements to just teach us. And when we connect with them, their energy is already so connected to the earth, which is connected to the ether, of course, to the sky. And so when we link in, it's just kind of like we're receiving that healing, and we're also offering healing, just like that flow, that water cycle image that came in. So it's just setting an intention, like, when would I do this tomorrow? When would I do like a little taste of this sort of light work in my daily life? Where would I fit it in? How can I see myself doing that? I'm a big fan of envisioning the future and writing it down, coming up with, a description, positive present tense. It really brings it into reality. It's a tool that I have in my book, for Tools for the Awakening Soul, called Envisioning Your Future. It's super, super, super important to do that. And then clearing away any doubt, right? Ego stories, why we can't, shouldn't, won't have this way of be present in our lives, even if it's just taking time to quiet our minds and bring in light. Sometimes the ego will come up with stories, oh, I'm too busy, or, I don't have time, or blah, 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 right? All kinds of things. So, and if you're looking for support in doing that, if you're struggling, working with somebody individually is always helpful. Of course, I do this work a lot, so I'm always happy to help, or even if you just have a question or email, happy to help too. All right. So I think that's probably enough for now. And let's see, what do I want to share that's coming up? I'm going to be doing an in-person workshop soon in Maine. I'm still planning it, meditating on it, what it will be. If anybody has any suggestions, let me know. I have a retreat coming up in the end of October. There's still a few, maybe 1 day spot left. All the overnight spots are taken, but it's this beautiful home on the water, on the ocean in Freeport, Maine. And we're going to be doing a raw cacao ceremony and having some nature connection, doing some like forest bathing with some guest people in my intuitive guide program, who are doing some practice little mini workshops, cold plunge, connecting in with guides and angels, as we always do. And it's just a really special time with really high vibe food from my friend Cheryl. So if you're interested in that, there's still a spot for that. And I'm also doing a free online workshop, Past Life Healing, in the end of September. So hope to see some of you there. I'm so glad this was helpful. Hi, Karen. And nice to see you all here. In the meantime, wishing you many blessings, much love. Bye.